Hello garden friends, this is Mayla. I am coming to you with another video today. Today we're going to start our series on getting my rental home back up, turned over, and ready for a new tenant. I am at home. I have my car packed. I have my back seat. I have my pressure washer, my ladder, and have all of this stuff here. I got one stop to make, and then we will head over to that house and I will bring you guys along, show you what we have to do. We're going to get started with the front garden bed today. If I have enough time, if I finish that today, then we'll head to the backyard, and just got a few things that we're going to do outside today, and then maybe tomorrow on into this week we will get into the inside, but I will show you what it all looks like today. All right guys, I have made my run that I need to make. I just left from Lumber Liquidators and I purchased the flooring that I'm going to replace in here. So now I am going to turn the camera around and show you my old home. We're gonna take a walk on the outside and see what I have to do today, which is we're gonna start the gardening. We're gonna do the front and the driveway side, and hopefully I can get to the backyard. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get all that done in one day, but let me show you what we have to do, and then I'll take you on the inside and show you how my tenant left the home and what we need to do to get it ready to turn it over for the new tenants. All right. So this is my old home. Got a tree in my front yard. The tree is growing really weird. It's growing narrow and tall. It needs to be trimmed, but at this point I'm gonna have to hire some professionals because it's kind of tall. Then the tree ring, the bricks around the bottom is breaking up from this is the builder put this in when the tree was tiny, and so now the roots are growing out and breaking up the bricks, but I'm not removing any of that and doing anything with it. And I do apologize for the noise. This house is on a big street that gets a lot of traffic. It's only a 2-lane street, but it gets a lot of traffic. So yeah, so these are lower pedlums. When I lived here, they were huge. They were coming up to like maybe half of the window. They were completely full. And a couple of winters ago, we had a really bad winter and they died. And so what I did was a year and a half ago, before the last tenants moved in, I came in and I cut them down all the way down to the ground, and look at them now. There's one there and one there. We're going to tidy that up and cut them back really hard. I had some big cypress trees. I had a big cypress tree here, a big cypress tree there. They got too big, and so we pulled those out, and I put in this lemon thread cypress. That was tiny when I planted it last year, and it's growing in pretty well. Got a bunch of evergreen stuff out here, and there's another one. And then I got some of the blue rug carpet here, there. There's one here, but it's a lot of grass growing in here. We're gonna pull all this grass out. There's one there. This one is not doing really well. It's not as full as the others. So this is my issue, my crepe myrtle. I don't know what this other weed is that's growing up through here. I don't know what that is. We're gonna get all this stuff out of here. But I had a beautiful crepe myrtle here, and one on the other end will go down there. But it's starting to die. The only thing that's alive are the suckers. the big branches in the center are dead. I am not spending any money, so we'll see. I'm gonna get my husband to bring his reciprocating saw over here. We're gonna cut out all the dead trunks and see if it's worth it to leave the new suckers that are growing up, that are alive. But we're gonna trim that all back. Gonna pull out these, whatever these lights that she had in here. This was another 2 loropetalums, so I need to trim those up. I planted this emerald green last year. This one is looking very yellow. Don't know what's going on with it. I may need to go get some iron tone and sprinkle around the base, but it's still alive. We'll give it some fertilizer because I haven't done anything since I planted it. So that is still good. There's another emerald green arborvitae that's looking a little yellow as well. I will get some fertilizer on it. This is 2 more loropetalums that are just like growing out of control. And then this is my other crepe myrtle that I'm not sure what is happening. It's looking more like a bush than a tree. We will tackle that as well. This is the side yard. It's nothing over here but just grass. So along my driveway, I have to apologize. My neighbor has a dog, has 2 German Shepherds. And so the dog is, see the dog over there? He's going crazy. But so over here, we had some more loropetalums. There was 1 there, 2 and 3. And then I had rocks down here. Don't know what this weed is that's growing up through the loropetalum, but we're going to pull all of that out. I don't know what all that is that's growing there. Gonna pull all that out. I'm gonna pull all this weed out, and we'll cut back the loropetalums and just try to weed it and blow out the leaves that are in here, and then we'll just clean it up good. This looks like a whole tree that's growing up. I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna have to, because that trunk is pretty big. See that trunk? So we'll have to cut that with a reciprocating saw, and then I'm gonna go maybe get some something to put on this trunk so that it doesn't grow back up. Let's head towards the backyard. Okay, they left me a bunch of stuff back here. Let me move this out the way so I can get through here, and then we'll head to the backyard. So this is my backyard. This is coming in my gate. I have a huge cypress tree. So initially when I first moved in, there's like a little mound right here. There was this tree, which was tiny, and there was about 6 or 7 pine trees all on this mound, because all of this used to be like the woods and country before they built these houses. So they left me like a mound of about 6 pine trees, really tall skinny pine trees, and then this. And so my dad cut down all the pine trees because he said that I was going to have issue with my grass growing and I wouldn't want all those pine needles, but I wanted to leave the cypress tree. I had no idea it would get this big. It was bigger than this. About maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we had a storm and the tree split, and so I had someone come out and cut down the branch that split off of it, and that was, I want to say, over on this side. So you see kind of like it's kind of, yeah, it was over on this side, cut that off, but now it's looking like that whole piece is leaning. So I really need to get this tree cut down, because if I get that branch cut off, then the tree will just be one-sided and it won't even look right. But that will probably be kind of expensive. So for right now, we might see what we can do about just getting this low-lying branch cut off. But yes, this is my backyard garden bed. My mom, and my dad put this in along my fence line about 7 years ago. You see, I love my lemon thread cypress trees. Those were tiny when I planted them, and they're growing. And I put all of these here to kind of, because I had erosion problems along my fence line, and so I felt like I needed, because I have a hill back here. I don't know if you can tell the slope. It's a very steep slope, and so I had erosion issues. That's why I had to brace up my fence, because my fence started to lean. This fence is very old, but it's gonna have to do for a while. So my dad, he put those up to hold the fence better, and then we went in and we laid more, put more soil down, brought in more soil to fill in all the divots that were in the ground, and then we ended up trenching my gutter to underneath the ground, and then it comes out here. But then once we did this, then all the water was coming out, and then it was dumping into this corner, and then this corner started having issues. So yeah, I've got tons of gravel and sand and things down here to keep this from eroding away. And then I had to put bricks underneath, because it was just like a big hole underneath the fence over into, and then there's a retaining wall back there behind the fence, and then a big drop down to the neighbors down there. So I believe that is why this tree died, because I put in a bunch of sand and gravel, so there's not much soil over here for that to grow. But that's fine. We're just gonna cut it off, and then I'll leave the root ball there. We're just gonna cut it off, and I won't replace it with anything. But I got some low growing ground cover evergreen here, and then here, and then all of this was just mulch, but they haven't kept it up, so it needs to be mulched again. So what I'm gonna do is we'll get some of this vine that's growing through. This is nothing but a weed that turned into a big tree, and it grows through the fence. So every couple of years I have to come back here and spray brush killer, or get back there and cut branches that are starting to grow through the fence. It looks like it's done pretty good since last year. So we'll pull all of that down. Looks like we have something growing through here. I had underneath here, I had a hosta bed. Don't know what happened to my hostas, but this was really nice when I was living here underneath this tree. I had a bunch of hostas all underneath this tree, and it was like mulched, but all that is like, it's grown over now. You can see a little bit of the mulch here, but that's gone now because they have not kept any of that up. You see, we got weeds growing looking like trees. We're gonna have to cut all of that back. This corner over here, I don't know what all that is. That's all weeds. That's all weeds. I don't know what that is. We'll clear all of that out. That is a whole tree growing over there in the corner that we need to cut back. You see the branch that we had to cut that broke. But yeah, and so now this one is leaning pretty bad. We need to just go ahead and cut that branch off. All right, let's set you guys up, and we just need to get to work. Before I get started, I just kind of want to show you guys the back of my home. So this is from the driveway. And then there is my covered patio. And then that's the other side yard. There's another gate to the front yard over there. But I also brought my pressure washer, and maybe not today, but another day, we're gonna pressure wash this. The people that lived here before, they had a grill, like a makeshift grill or something down here that stained the patio really bad, and it looks like it's still on here. It hasn't come up. So I need to pressure wash this and get it really clean. I need to pressure wash the windows. So we'll do all of that. Maybe not today. Today we're going to focus on the front yard. able to cut them down, all those tall rogue branches that grew up. This is the old variety of loropetalum, so they grow really big if you let it. But yeah, we're going to try to keep them small like this so as much sunlight can get to those windows to keep the windowsill dry. I have wood windows. I need new windows, but it's not in the budget right now. So as much sunlight that can get to the windowsill so that they don't stay wet after it rains, this is what we need. So let's move on to this set of loropetalums. So that's that crepe myrtle. We still have the dead old trunk that we need to get out of there. But I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I got 7 trunks down there. I'm gonna cut out 2 or 3 of them. I'm gonna only leave about 4, no more than 5 in each one. So I think I might cut these 2 over here on the side. This is leaning. Here's all the debris. I cut down these 2 loropetalums. And Here's all of the debris. We had two like little small trees that were weeds growing up through here. Cut those down. I need to go get my iron tone and some fertilizer from home and fertilize those trees. All of these lower pedlums are cut down. We got a bunch of debris to pick up. And then that tree over there. So I will spare you guys the watching me pick up this stuff, but we'll be back shortly. I had forgotten about the driveway side, so let me set you guys up. We're going to cut all this back and then we will clean up the debris.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
Hi guys, it is day 2, the next day. I did not come back on yesterday when we were done with the front garden bed. I did not finish it. I was tired and I forgot to come back on. So we are back at it the next morning. This is Sunday morning, October the 5th. My dad actually made it here before I did. So he is cutting the grass. He's gonna do the front and the back. It may take him a while because he's having to use his push mower because his my gate is not wide enough for his riding lawnmower to get into the backyard. So he just brought his push mower and he is working on the front yard now. I'm going to turn the camera around, show you what we're going to get done today, and then we'll hopefully finish up the outside today, and then the next video we're going to head on the inside. My husband and my oldest stepson is coming over to help to remove the shoe molding around the baseboards, and also start taking up the carpet in the bedrooms that we're going to replace the flooring. So you guys will see that in the next video. But let me take the camera, show you what we're going to do to the front yard, and then we're going to head to the backyard. All right. So here we are. This is everything that we got done on yesterday. Still got this grass here that's growing. I was going to try and pull all of it out, but I'm just going to cover it up with this landscape fabric. So we're going to cover all that up with landscape fabric. There's already landscape fabric in this area, that's why you don't see anything. And I apologize about the noise. This is a loud street with a lot of traffic, so yeah. But anyway, we're going to put landscape fabric here because obviously this must have been pulled out at some point. And then we need to do some additional landscape fabric down on this corner. So there are just 3 little small spots that we have to do. I brought some tree tone and some holly tone fertilizer that I'm going to sprinkle down at the bottom of each one of these emerald green arborvitae trees, and we're going to water it in really good. I'm pretty sure the only watering that it has got since I planted them and watered them last year is the rainwater that Mother Nature gives us. So I'm going to try to keep it watered every time I'm out here until I get this home rented out again, and maybe that'll help. We're also going to this tree. It is a thorn in my side. It is growing very narrow and tall. There's a lot of dead branches in there, especially at the top. I don't know if you can see. So we're gonna do what we can today. My dad has his chainsaw. We're going to remove some of the dead branches from here, and as far up as we can get. My dad said it needs to be topped. This tree needs to be topped off, but I mean, without hiring professional help, I don't know how we could get all the way up there. So we're gonna forego that and just kind of tackle some of the dead branches towards the bottom that we can reach for this time around, and maybe I can hire someone to top it off later on, but it's gonna need to be done at some point. So you see how the neighbor's tree is growing. This is like, I don't know what kind of tree this is, but it's just growing really funky. It's just like tall, narrow, and then it's like leaning over to the side. Mine is doing the same thing. It is not appealing at all. We are also going to get the chainsaw or my husband's reciprocal saw, and we're going to cut off the original trunks to this crepe myrtle trees. We're going to cut off the dead branches in the middle, the big ones. And then this is the driveway little garden bed that I had. I was able to cut back the lower pedalums. That's a lower pedalum. This is a lower pedalum, and this is a lower pedalum. Well, this is a weed tree. Don't know what it is. Something that is growing that is really big. So my dad is going to tie a rope around it and pull it out with his truck. I'm gonna try to blow off some of these dead leaves in here, and that'll be it for this garden bed. At these emerald green arborvitaes, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of iron tone and then also a little bit of holly tone at the base of each one of them and give it a good watering.
Through the highways till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go.
Hey guys, look who's here. Look right here. Look who's here, the dream team. She came by, she has helped me in the backyard, and I forgot to pull out my camera. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna take you back there and show you what we've done so far.
She can show you how hard she's worked me.
Please. All right, so we started off in this corner. That big tall tree thing right there is a weed tree. And it is too large to cut it with my electric pruners, so I'm gonna have to get either the reciprocal saw or my dad's chainsaw to cut that, and then we will put some stump killer on it. These were kind of pointy at the top, so I just kind of like gave it a slight prune. There was a bunch of dead part of this low growing this ground cover juniper. I cut as much off as I could. This stuff is sticky, so it was really hard. There's like grass growing all up through there. It's gonna be easier for us just to get the edger to cut down all of that. These grassy looking things, all of that is weed. I did not plant that here. All that is growing up, so we're just gonna cut that all down. My lemon thread cypress, they were like growing over into the grassy area, so I just kind of like cut the bottom in the front all across them. And I know it doesn't look really good, but I needed to get it off of the grass so that when my dad comes to cut the grass and edge it, he's not trying to move bushes. I topped that one off as well. We pulled up and cut back a couple of trees that was growing up through here. I pruned this one back as well. This was a pampas grass. I had a pampas grass here and a pampas grass on the other side. They both ended up dying. I'm not gonna pull that base up simply because I have a lot of erosion issues back here. There are a lot of dips and holes in this backyard. You see that big dip there. There's another big dip right here where water runs down this way. So I'm gonna leave that there just so that it can kind of hold the soil and don't make any big dips. I cut this one back off the grass. We trimmed that back. And then my electric pruner died. So this is another big brush that was nothing was on the opposite side of my fence when we installed this fence 18 years ago. There was nothing back there. And since then, whatever weed or whatever has started to grow, and it's like a big bush tree or whatever. And about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, my dad put a ladder here, and he climbed up on the ladder and went over on the other side, because the other side is actually still my property all the way up to the retaining wall. There's a brick retaining wall there, and then there's maybe like a 6 or 7 foot steep down to the next people's property. So my dad climbed over, he cut it all the way down to the ground. That was maybe 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. And you see what it's done. It's come back, that has come back, and now that is growing as well. So every couple of years I just have to come here and cut all the vines and all of the branches that are growing through the fence. Like here's a branch right here. You see all of those branches that have been previously growing through the fence that I have cut off so that they don't ruin the fence. The fence is going to have to be replaced in a few years, but I'm trying to buy my time. But anyway, my electric pruners died here, so I just need to just kind of top off those two, and then we're gonna cut that at the base. This one is dead, and I think it's dead because there's a bunch of gravel and sand under here, because this is another spot of my yard where we have erosion issues. So you see it's starting to erode away again, but we're just gonna cut it back at ground level and leave it there, and that'll be it. I will probably throw a little bit of mulch down just to tidy it up, but cut the grass, throw a little bit of mulch down, and then we are going to be done back here. My dad is attempting to pull this tree shrub, so let's see.
I don't think it's gonna break it, maybe.
It's not gonna come this way. It's just pulling it down. He can keep trying. Broke the rope. Well, we tried. It broke the rope.
Yeah,
Hold on,
it is a stronger rope. Look at that.
It broke the rope. This is a strong tree bush. We just need.
He got bigger ropes.